nation. I pray that you would aid us, O God, in all of our endeavors, even on today. Father, that what we do and what we say, Father, even what we wear, Father, and what we sing, would be effective to bring in an end to violence in all forms across our community. Bless, O God, everything that would be said and done here. Let it be to your honor and to your glory, Father, and let all things be done to please you and to the end that our communities would be safer and our nation would be a one where peace abounds. In Jesus' name, amen. I ask that you remain standing for the national anthem. O land of beauty, O country where peace abounds, thy children stand free on the strength of will and love, with God in all our struggles, St. Kitts and Nevis be a nation bound together with a common destiny. As stalwarts we stand for justice and liberty, with wisdom and truth we will serve and honor thee. No sword nor spear can conquer, for God will sure defend. His blessing shall forever to posterity extend.
Thank you. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, invited guests, and I know the thousands who are tuning in via social media, who are watching what we're doing, who are listening to what we are doing, this is indeed the official launch of the 16 Days of Activism against gender-based violence. This year's theme, Orange the World, End Violence Against Women Now. Gender-based violence touches each and every one of us, men, women, and children. The violence that is being perpetuated is not only physical, it's not only the scars that we see. From psychological abuse to emotional and financial coercion, gender-based violence threatens the very stability of our society. And sadly, it is the most vulnerable, our women and our children, who are bearing the brunt of this. In their lifetime, 1 in 3 women will have experienced gender-based violence. 1 in 2 women will have experienced sexual harassment. This is not a women's issue. This is a social issue. This is an issue for St. Kitts and Nevis to address. This is not only a women's issue because it also affects our men. Gender-based violence can and is being perpetrated against men in our society. When we're thinking about gender-based violence, we not only have to think about the victims, but about the perpetrators, about the things that will have caused them to resort to violence, about the cycles of violence that we see in our society over and over. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most important issues that is facing our society today, and it is one of the issues that we are afraid to speak about. We see it, we know it happens, and we say nothing. Today, it is a pleasure and a privilege to launch this campaign for awareness and to launch our officially the 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence right here in Nevis. This is being launched by the Department of Gender Affairs in cooperation with the Ministry of Health. Ladies and gentlemen, It is my privilege to now turn over to our first performer, Miss Carissa Willett. Miss Willett? And before Miss Willett graces us on the stage, I do have to do some official welcoming to set the stage for today. So to our distinguished guests, first off, we have to recognize the presence of the Honorable Eugene Hamilton, who has crossed the waters from St. Kitts and who is joining us today. Our Honorable Junior Minister in the Ministry of Community Development and, in the Ministry of Gender Affairs, the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams. To our specially invited guests and dignitaries in the audience, we are very grateful for your presence here today at this occasion.
Good afternoon. All who believe in prayer say we all need to pray. Can't believe what is happening. These must be the last days. The devil's getting scary. The devil's in a rage. Women and children are a target now. We need to see a change. We're losing too many women. Stop the violence against women. We need to love our women and take care of the women. Stop abusing the women. We're losing too many women, yeah. Stop the violence against women. We need to love our women. Take care of the women. Stop abusing the women. Young girls beware. There are predators out there. Don't trust people. I say them act as if they care. They are wolves in sheep clothing. They are evil. So don't just go on any taxi. And don't just go on any bus. Don't just trust loose faces. Suss them out first. Don't make night catch you too far from home. Don't make your loved ones nervous. So just think before you act so pretty, 'cause time is so evilous. And to me big man friend them, stop steer with the madman them. If every day he might beat you and he'll treat you, one day your life in a problems. We're losing too many women, yeah. Stop the violence against women. We need to love our women, Take care of the women. Stop abusing the women. We're losing too many women, yeah. Stop the violence against women. We need to love our women. Take care of the women. Stop abusing the women. I can't live without a woman. Tell me, can you? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time. That was powerful. We are losing too many women. Wow, wow. All right, next on our program, and really here to give an overview and an introduction of our event, it is my privilege to call on a loyal officer of the Department of Gender Affairs, Mr. Mario Phillip. Mr. Phillip.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and let me give my welcome to you to this, the official launch of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence here in our federation. I, of course, want to recognize the Honorable Eugene Hamilton, who has joined us here, and our junior minister in the Ministry of Health and Gender Affairs. Thank you all for being here with us. And also all of our friends who would have traveled from St. Kitts, I say a warm welcome to you. I want to say that it is an awesome thing when we can join together to fight against the ills in our society. And gender-based violence is definitely one of them. The 16 days of activism, it is recognized each year from the 25th of November until the 10th of December. The 25th of November being the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. And you just heard that wonderful solo, that presentation, that we have to love our women. It is a serious issue when our society isn't safe for half of itself. And so the theme for this year's campaign is Orange the World, End Violence Against Women Now. It is something that we all must understand is urgent, is necessary, and it says no. Can't wait until later to love our women, to protect our women. Of course, violence in any form against any individual, any gender is something we cannot tolerate. And so the 16 days of activism begins on the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, but it goes all the way to December 10th, International Human Rights Day. And I think that of course, signals the inclusivity of the entire 16-day campaign. I want you to know that here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we are putting our efforts together to stamp out this ill. Today we have the official launch and rally here where we raise one voice and we say this must end. But there are a number of activities that would go on throughout the 16 days, both here on Nevis and on St. Kitts. So you'd be seeing the departments of gender affairs on both islands along with the NGOs that work closely with us. We would be in the community, we would be on the street, we would be on social media with different challenges. And so we say to you, persons out there, if you're out there and you realize that gender-based violence is something that we have to end, join with us. Come on board with us. Do your part. You could post a picture on social media, wearing the colors of orange or purple. And that alone would send a message to someone who is experiencing, some man, woman, boy, or girl who is a victim, that they're not alone and you are with them. And so that is what this campaign is about. Our community is coming together. We don't only do this during 16 days in November and December, but this is the time where we place special emphasis and say we must all stand up for each other and end gender-based violence. This campaign would culminate, get to its zenith on the 10th of December when we would travel over to St. Kitts for the Convoy of Awareness, a march through the streets of Bastille that will end in the Independence Square. And again, we would be sending the message to all and sundry that St. Kitts and Nevis has no room for gender-based violence. I thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for participating. Thank you for raising your voice and standing up with us against gender-based violence. Yes.
Thank you, Mario. And as he so rightly said, sometimes it just takes one voice or one post on social media, maybe one event or one picture for someone who is suffering in silence to break their silence. So please speak up, stand up in support for those who are suffering. And this is not just a St. Kitts and Nevis problem. This is not just a Caribbean problem, but this is a global problem. This is such a serious global problem that it is in fact the United Nations that has sponsored this campaign to raise awareness, the United Nations that founded this campaign for gender-based violence awareness. And so today, ladies and gentlemen, we are very, very honored to have a special message coming to us from a UN Women representative, Ms. Toni Broadber.
Hello, my name is Toni Broadber, and I'm the representative for the UN Women Multi-Country Office in the Caribbean. Across the 5 countries that have prevalence data with regards to violence against women and girls, we know that 46% of women who've ever been in a relationship have experienced at least one form of intimate partner violence, whether that be physical abuse, sexual abuse, economic abuse, psychological, emotional, or even verbal abuse. But violence against women and girls is not relegated to the private sphere alone. It also occurs publicly around us every day. Sexual violence and harassment in public spaces, including on public transportation, in social environments, or at work. It's a severe issue within our region. However, a culture of silence exists, rooted in harmful and unequal gender norms that posits domestic violence as a private matter and public sexual violence or harassment as compliments and signs of affection. Now, this data also shows that certain risk factors increase the risk of gender-based violence, including men who have committed violence against other men, frequent arguing, and abuse as a child. In support of the 16 days of activism to end gender-based violence, which started in 1991, the United Nations Secretary General's Unite by 2030 to End Violence Against Women and Girls campaign calls for global actions to increase awareness, galvanize advocacy efforts, and share knowledge and innovations around violence against women and girls. What works? Ending gender-based violence demands an all-of-society approach, including strengthening legal infrastructure and institutions, enhancing essential services and support organizations, and combating the norms that lead to gender-based violence. Wearing orange throughout this week to highlight gender-based violence is a great first step, but our activism, efforts, and voice must continue far beyond these 16 days, far beyond what we wear, and far beyond our computers. There are 3 ways that we can all support ending violence against women and girls. 1, let's support women's economic empowerment. It's a critical prevention measure. Let's provide equitable, decent work opportunities, look towards providing gender-responsive social protection measures to reduce and redistribute the unpaid care burden, share the care within your homes, and facilitate women's participation in high-growth industries. 2, let's always ensure that women's needs are also front and center, understanding the different ways in which climate change and disaster risk resilience affect women and men, so that we understand the ways in which women face heightened vulnerability to climate change and increased risks of gender-based violence post many disasters. Finally, we need to ensure that public spaces and urban renewal strategies are gender responsive, creating sustainable and safe environments for all persons. But for each and every one of you, there are many easy things you can do in your relationships, in your friendships. Share the care, Regardless of whether you're the mother or the father, you have equal responsibility for your children. Make sure that you don't minimize cases what come to your attention around violence against women and girls. Be an ally. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those wise and very poignant words from our UN Women's Rep, Ms. Toni Broadber. And you know, the last line that resonated, be an ally. And as I'm looking around, I'm speaking specifically to the men. I'm happy to see some men here in the audience and speaking specifically to them. As women, we need our men. We need our men to speak up and speak out against violence. We need our men to be positive role models and positive examples in society. We have to take a partnership approach. This is not a male versus female issue. This is an all of society issue. If men are struggling, women will struggle, and vice versa. At this point, it is a very big privilege and an honor to call on one such male ally, to call on a man who is always standing up for women's rights, who is going to deliver a performance for us this evening. Right now, I'd like to call on Mr. Leandre Dyer, who is going to deliver a spoken word piece. Let's give a round of applause for Mr. Dyer.
Good afternoon. Dear brothers, we need community. No, like seriously, we need community. We need a body of brothers with strong masculine energy living intently to be who they're meant to be. Because you see, that's the only way we'll ever be present for the future generation, when we be men who mend. But firstly, we need a community of transparency, men who ain't afraid to be naked. Wait, what? Men who ain't afraid to be naked, because the only thing that women see is our skin. But what about those private parts of our hearts that we're keeping sacred? And if they only knew our secret, then that protective perception of ourselves is broken. Oh, men. Men, oh, men. We need a community of healing, where our wounds are addressed and not dressed in excessive rum or bags of weed. A community that digs deep to the root of our wounds and provides a cleansing, because our brains are washed and drenched in memories that painfully changed us from men into monsters. And the antidote is healing. Because you see, like recently I had to confront my own insecurity. And the root of it was jealousy, because I felt like if I celebrated my friends, then I won't be successful like them. So I felt inferior and inadequate. And it sucks when you have to address the elephant in the room, because it tends to step on your ego. But what if I was exposed and they get to know who I really am? Man. Because you see, if we don't confront our traumas, we'll continue to project them on women, children, or even our brothers. That's why guys are dying, rum shops are thriving, marijuana is misused, women are abused, because we think that these things are painkillers, but the real killer is our pain. Not the gun, not the drugs, not the sex, not the women, it's the pain. Which means we need a community of support. It's so easy to create an uproar about men not being more, but how can they be more when they need more? A system of support that pours into our soul, that bears with our brokenness, willing to see through the holes of his heart and hold him down, but are we willing to do that? Because you see, we men are demonized for not being there for women. But we're not empathized when women walk away. We men are demonized for not being there for women, but we're not empathized when women walk away. I've been in relationships where women walk away when I expose my weaknesses. They was like, nah, I can't date a wound, because there are too much flies following it. And guess what that did? It deepened my wound. Why only love a version of me that exists in your head and not face a version that is real? However, let's embrace the community that exists, because we're not all far gone. We men aren't far gone. There's Deli who pushes forward. There's Easy who keeps it positive. Xavier Howell, who was well respected by many, and we say R.I.P. His body is deceased, but his spirit is one to emulate. So for me, I don't just see gender-based violence as a fight against gender, but a fight for gender, where nobody's hurt, but everybody is whole. So my admonition is that we create communities of transparency, healing, and support for a greater community, or even a hood, what I like to call manhood.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, that was some powerful, powerful words. Nobody is hurt, but everybody is whole. Wow, the talent that we have amongst our young men here. Let's give him another round of applause, please. You know, as I was listening to him speak, and I'm thinking I'm speaking to the men, but now I want to speak to the women. And I know that there are a lot of strong women out there, and I know there are a lot of broken women out there. And today, you know, I say that we need to rise up. We need to rise each other up. Today, women, it is time to be role models. It is time to be mentors. It is time to stand in solidarity with our sisters. Too many times we see women pulling down women in competition over who knows what and who knows why. And too many times as women, our insecurities and our hurts from the past are reflected on our sisters out there. Women, it is time to pull each other up. On that note, I would like to invite to the podium a very powerful and strong woman who has and continues to make an impact every day right here in Nevis. It's an honor to call the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams, Minister for Health and Gender Affairs. Please let's welcome the Honorable Minister. Lord, I'm getting too excited. Apparently, I have missed out on an important performance, and I'm so sorry. So before we have our minister speaking to us, at this point, I would like to call Miss Gloria Esdale to the fore. She does have an important performance. Miss Esdale, my heartfelt apologies.
Testing. Good evening, everyone. We're all here in it together. And I want to lift up all of our women and our men for us to continue fighting to be safe. This is behind the mask. Too often we live there and we need to come forward. So as not to get sick in this pandemic, we've been asked to cover our faces. Yes, they've kindly asked that we wear a mask as one of our safety devices. But masking up has its difficulties, and one of its many challenges is knowing who is who behind that mask for true, and that's causing me to question and search for the real reason behind an otherwise good decision. And if you're curious like me, you would be eager to see what may or may not be behind the mask. You may be wondering what people thinking or might be hiding behind the mask. Who knows, some of us might be glad for the opportunity to show our real identity. Behind the mask, what is? Behind the mask, who is? Behind the mask, public spaces. Until recently, they were telling we to take the cover off our faces. But now without a facial covering, persons will be blocked from entering certain public spaces. And well known business places, knowing the so-called new normal, they've seen a full reversal of what it takes for simple survival. Then if you're curious like me, you'd be eager to see what may or may not be behind the mask. You may be wondering what deals they're making or who they're protecting behind the mask. Do you know anyone who could be needing the opportunity to confess their identity? Behind the mask, behind the mask, what's there? Behind the mask, behind the mask, who's there? Behind the mask, behind the mask. Too often, we know that as women, we continue to rise. And we have to declare that it's our time.
It's my time. Yes, my time. They say life is a circle. For most it's a struggle just to keep their feet on the ground. While some of us fear well, most are made to catch hell. You smile while some carry a frown. For too long it has been one-sided, and while one set has benefited, the vast majority of we have waited patiently, longing for the day when we can say, it's my time. I so declare, my time. To all who can hear, it's my time. It is my time to conquer my fears. It's my time to attain my goal. My time. I'm taking control. It's my time. It is my time unleashed to the world. It's my time now. I've been patient for too long, trying to put right what was wrong. It's my time now. I've long prepared for the day when it's my turn to hold sway. It's my time now. So don't you begrudge me. I know you think that I'm lucky, but to life's circle I take a bow because it's my time now.
And let's all make it our time for all,
It's my time.
everyone in our federation
Yes,
who
my
face
time.
gender violence. Thank you.
It's my time. Yes, my time.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our Calypsonian. I know who I'm backing for Culturama next year. Let's give her a round of applause. Behind the mask, and it is my time now. Woo! All right, I see everybody's ready to get up on their feet and dance. Before you do, now, without further ado, I'd like to call the energetic lady herself, the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams, Minister for Health and Gender Affairs. Let's jump her.
Natural beauty, you know. Tell, no, I've never been someone shy until I seen your eyes. Still I had to try, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. DJ. It's my time now. We better roll back that song. It's our time now. It's our time to come together and fight against gender-based violence. We are losing too many women. Stop the violence against our women. We need to love our women. We need to cherish our women. Sound words coming from our performers here this afternoon. Permit me to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Eugene Hamilton, Minister of Social Development and Gender et al. In St. Kitts. Permanent Secretary, Ms. Janelle Tafari, out of St. Kitts as well. The Permanent Secretary from the Nevis office, I saw her, probably left. Anyway, she was here, so the Permanent Secretary, Ms. Shalisa Martin Clark, and our Assistant Secretary, Ms. Latoya Jeffers, and I want to also thank the officers from St. Kitts who came over to share in this launch. As a matter of fact, this year, the celebrations of the 16 Days of Activism, we are doing it with St. Kitts and Nevis, and it is a first time, it is history. So I want to congratulate both departments, the department in St. Kitts and the one in Nevis, for their collaboration in this particular project and program. So welcome again to the Villa grounds, all those persons who are here with us and those who are listening via the live stream. It is a thrilling feeling to know that we have come together on such an occasion as this to join our counterparts around the world and to send a resounding message to every man, woman, boy, and girl that violence in any form must end. And that St. Kitts and Nevis is a land that has no room. We have room for creativity. We have room for love. We have room for nation building, community dialogue, tolerance, and cooperation. But definitely, we have no room for violence. I am elated that our friends and colleagues from our sister island, they have journeyed over to rally with us today. We are on one page, we are in one book, and we are voicing our concern that this year and moving forward, we will try and put an end to gender-based violence. And so with all of us working together to end gender-based violence now, we will bring our beloved federation closer to embodying the standards we have set in our national anthem. A country, we'll operate in a country where peace abounds. Globally, an estimated 736 million women, almost 1 in every 3 women, have been subjected to some form of intimate partner violence, non-partner sexual violence, or both at least once in their lifetime. When we look at this statistic, it's startling. So, in that, if it is 1 in every 3, it means that all of us know somebody who would have been subjected to gender-based violence, whether it is from their partners at home or an unknown assailant. And so it makes us wonder, you know, how do we operate in our spaces? Because in every shape, every angle, we have women who are abused. And in 2018, it was estimated that 13% of women ages 15 to 49 have experienced some form of physical abuse. These statistics are horrifying, they are disturbing, and it tells me that we must all awake from our collective societal sleep. For too long, we have remained silent, and the time has come for us to now open our mouths, say something, see something. We have a device in our hands, our telephone. No longer should it be used to spread gossip of your neighbor who is being abused. No longer should it be used to film a person being beaten, being battered by their spouse. But it should now be used to call the police. it should now be used more effectively in helping to stamp out this scourge that has raised its ugly head on society. And what has increased or exacerbated the problem is the COVID pandemic. We have been closed down for practically 20 months. And so the abusers have come face to face, or the abusee has become face to face with its abuser, because they now have to conform to the same space. We have to help our sisters and brothers who are being abused daily. And so there is no excuse for us to continue to remain silent. It is never acceptable, it is never excusable, and it ought not to be tolerable. Gender-based violence is our business. It is the business of all of us. We have to make it our business. No longer can we say, I am not affected. If your sister is affected, trust me, you are affected also. It has to be our business. So let us, in the 16 days of activism, ensure that the word gets out, that we educate all and sundry about the dangers, the scourges, and the risks associated with this. And let us do a little more. And so when we would have brought down the curtains on these 16 days, let us make a pledge that we will continue doing the necessary work, whatever it takes, to ensure that our sisters and our brothers are living in safe environments away from gender-based violence. Once again, thank you very much for coming, and let us continue with this important charge. Stop gender-based violence. Orange the world. Thank you.
I know everyone can relate.
Stop gender-based violence and orange the world. Ladies and gentlemen, gender-based violence has touched every single one of us. If we look around us right now, in our communities, in our homes, the people we live with, the people we know, everyone has been touched in some way or another by gender-based violence. As a teacher, unfortunately, I have seen too many of our young people suffering from abuse, suffering from witnessing abuse, and this is something that leaves scars that cannot be erased. It's my pleasure now to call on a group of young people who have traveled over from St. Kitts, from the Basse-Terre High School, and who will be delivering a performance for us today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's celebrate our young people, our dancers from the Basse-Terre High School. Let's give them a round of applause as they come on stage. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're clearing the stage for our dancers. Dancers, come ahead. And I would like to remind you, you'll see people in purple, you will see people in orange. Now, purple and orange are both colors that signify the fight against gender violence. This campaign by the UN is Orange the World, but we do have our colleagues over in St. Kitts, and we have in past years as well, were in purple. So when you see purple, and when you see orange, that signifies gender-based violence. All right, dancers, we're ready for you.
Am I Am I dead? Or is this one of those dreams? Those horrible dreams that seem like they last forever. If I am alive, why? Why? If there's a God or whatever, something, somewhere, why have I been abandoned by everyone and everything I've ever known, I've ever loved? Stranded. What is the lesson? What is the point? God, give me a sign or I have to give up. I can't do this anymore. Please just let me die. Being alive hurts too much. You almost had me fooled. Told me that I was nothing without you. Oh, but after everything you've done, I can thank you for how strong I have become. 'Cause you brought the flames and you put me through hell. I had to learn how to fight for myself, and we both know all the truth I could tell. I'll just say this as I wish you farewell. I hope you're somewhere praying, praying. I hope your soul is changing, changing. I hope you find your peace, falling on your knees, praying. I'm proud of who I am. No more monsters, I can breathe again. And you said that I was done. Well, you were wrong, and now the best is yet to come. 'Cause I can make it on my own. I don't need you. I found a strength I've never known. I'll bring thunder, I'll bring burn. When I'm finished, they won't even know your name. You brought the flames and you put me through hell. I had to learn how to fight for myself, and we both know all the truth I can tell. I'll just say this as I wish you farewell. I hope you're somewhere praying, praying. I hope your soul is changing, changing. I hope you find your peace, falling on your knees, praying. Sometimes I pray for you and someday maybe you'll see the light. Some say in life you're gonna get what you give, but some things only God can forgive. I hope you're somewhere praying, praying. I hope your soul is changing, changing. I hope you find your peace, falling on your knees,
that expression that we saw, that music, that dance, our young people are definitely talented. Give it up for the Basse-Terre High School dancers, please, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent, excellent rendition and an excellent song as well, really fitting for this occasion. We are praying, indeed we are praying, and our Bible tells us that love is patient and love is kind and love should never hurt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next we have a very important event, a historic event. It is the commissioning of a mural. The commissioning of a mural that is bringing awareness, that is bringing public and visible awareness to this scourge of gender-based violence and domestic violence. So without further ado, I'd like to draw your attention. We have some information on video with regards to this very important mural that is being commissioned here today.
The Ministry of Health and Gender Affairs is happy to be on this thrust of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. You see, violence of any sort in our communities can never be tolerated. And this year we are happy to be launching the second of our murals. We did one last year in 2020 and 2021. We are doing it again. And this is to take the message to our communities that violence is not tolerated in Nevis.
The Ministry of Health and Gender Affairs has been on this campaign, 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. It is usually celebrated on the 25th of November through the 10th of December. And this year, we are celebrating under the theme, Orange the World, End Violence Against Women Now. Now, we know that, well, this thing is a taboo, and we do not talk about it. But our ministry is saying that we have to break the silence, we have to talk about it, we have to end the violence against not only women, but against men now. So we want to invite all of you to celebrate with us as we go on this campaign to end gender-based violence.
Good day, my name is Danielle Moore, and I'm the one that created this mural. This mural was with respect to the 16 days of activism for gender-based violence. Now, the piece that I created depicts both the half of a face of a man and a woman, and it utilizes a lot of colors. Now, based on the theme, Break the Silence, End Gender-Based Violence, most of the victims in a number of cases are unable to talk about the difficulties that they are going through. So the reason for creating my piece in this way is to utilize the colors to express the emotion, the distress, and the difficulties they're going through in a bold way that will stand out, while at the same time making sure that their message is brought across. So it utilizes the theme colors for the 16 days of activism, which is orange. The woman is painted against the background of orange, and purple, the guy is painted against the background of purple. So both of them are in a setting in which they would describe what kind of difficulties, struggles they are going through, while at the same time not being able to tell anyone. So that is the reason for creating my piece in this way.
At this time, I would like to officially commission this, our second mural. The mural, as was said, is to show our communities that we are taking that bold step in presenting the awareness. So I hereby officially commission.
Break the silence.
Mural.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause. That is that lovely piece of artwork. I want you to look out for it. It has now been officially commissioned, officially unveiled, and officially launched, and is being officially launched right now. Are we having it on the screen? Is everybody seeing it? Let's turn your attention to that beautiful, beautiful piece of artwork that our Minister for Gender Affairs has just officially launched and commissioned. And please do look out for it. When you see it, think about our message this evening. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting darker. I know we're getting a little more excited. It's Friday evening. It's a good Friday. It's a great Friday for us to be alive, for us to count our blessings, and for us also to put some energy behind this campaign. I see, yeah. All right.
Break the silence, end gender-based violence.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right there. And let's all say that together. Break the silence, end gender-based violence. Let me hear you. Break the silence, end gender-based violence. Yes, we can. All right, so I was speaking about getting hype and getting a little excited tonight. And so it is indeed a privilege to call on a very talented young man who I have known for many years since he first started off in his journey with the Odyssey Band. He has grown and he has delivered some powerful, powerful messages to us here on Nevis. He's a popular young man and he has so much that he has to say. So ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the ever popular, the ever powerful, Kenny Easy Warner. Let's give him a clap.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight I bring that positive message. Do 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 do. Hey hey, I feel so nice. Yeah. Do 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 do. This one can't stay positive. Do 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 do. Jah bless me with a breath this morning, so me have to give thanks for life and declare that today is mine. Me see a new sunrise is calling. Anita tell me say you can't live the same day twice, 'cause no man can travel through time. Things are nice but it could have been worse. Glad say me now roll out in a hearse. Chop up me boots, time to master work. Read me Bible if it's even a verse. Nobody never say life a go easy. Take up yourself, be some man to your country. Get a youth, we are raise up with family. Pick up yourself through the struggle, Jaja help me, hear me. Positive is how we live. A positive mind, we don't need negative. I may stay so positive. Just gotta keep myself positive, positive. Just prepare for what life got to give. It's gonna be alright. You can't win on me. Stay so positive. Just gotta keep myself positive, positive. If you believe in positivity, let me see you put your hands in the air right now. If you believe in positivity, let me see you put your hands in the air. Hey, hey, I feel so nice. Yeah. Do 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 do. Me a picture to each and every ghetto youth. More than one way to end a dispute. Every little thing no fi end with shoot. Open up your and listen to the truth. Get an education that they on the route. Watch how much
Minister of Social Development and Gender Affairs, for showing his support on this memorable event and for always giving his inspiring words of encouragement to our women. Thanks to our Junior Minister, the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams, Minister of Health and Gender Affairs, for her readiness and courage for always raising the bar to take gender affairs on another level. Thanks to the permanent secretaries of Gender Affairs, Mrs. Janelle Lewis Tafari and Mrs. Shalissa Morton Clark, for gracing us with their presence and support tonight. Thanks to the Assistant Secretary, Ms. Latoya Jeffords, for always being available whenever we need her urgent assistance. Special thanks to the UN Women Representative, Mrs. Tony Broder, for always giving her support and advice to strengthen our gender machineries. Thanks to other ministers of government or cabinet who is present to lend their support as well. Thanks to our chairperson for cheering so well. Thanks to all our staff and members from Gender Affairs and other ministries within the government sector and private. Thanks to all our awesome performers tonight. You were exceptionally well. Thanks to our supporters and sponsors and support teams that make this event a success. Thanks to any other person or organization I haven't mentioned. But tonight, we want to say to you a heartfelt thank you. Let's orange the world and end gender-based violence against our women now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, ending gender-based violence now. It has been a pleasure. There are refreshments down there. They are cold, they are delicious, so we'd invite you to head on down to the tent. And while we are enjoying the companionship, I would like to call also to the stage to give us some nice music. He has traveled a long way to be here, to Dubai and back, but my fellow Gingerlander, Mr. Delroy Deli Huggins. Deli, let's give him a round of applause. All right, please feel free to enjoy refreshments and stand up and, hype up yourself. Come on, everybody, let's get up. Let's go. Get some energy in this place. Deli, paging Deli.
Everywhere I'm turning, nothing seems complete. I stand up and I'm searching for the better part of me. I hang my head from sorrow so much. State of humanity. What's up? Wear it on my shoulders. Gotta find strength in me.